Hi everyone, this is the second video on adding and subtracting rational expressions. This time the denominators are going to be polynomials, not just monomials like on the previous video. And the steps are the same for solving, except I do have a first step that we want to do is factor the denominators first and then do everything we were doing before. Alright, so let's get right into the examples. We're going to simplify x minus 1 over x squared minus x minus 6. And I want to factor x squared minus... So I need two things that multiply to negative 6 and add to negative 1. 3 times 2. Let's make this one negative. So we're talking about x squared minus 3x. This is why we reviewed factoring earlier, isn't it? And x squared minus 3x. These both have x's in them, so I'm going to go x times x minus 3 plus 2 goes into both of these, so 2 times x minus 3. And then those are both x minus 3, so that means it worked. So that's x plus 2 times x minus 3. So just a little scratch work over there. So I'm going to write x minus 1 over x plus 2 times x minus 3. Now, over here, I'm going to write minus. Now, I see that 5 goes into those two, so I'm going to factor that out. GCF, 5 times x plus 2. Now, you don't treat this as x and this as 2. This whole thing is just x plus 2. Treat it as a single chunk here, and x minus 3. This one has a 5. This one does not have a 5 in it, so let's put a 5 here. Okay, this has an x plus 2. I don't need another one. It already has one. This one has an x minus 3 that this one does not have. So let's put an x minus 3 here. And let's just simplify. 5 times x minus 1 is 5x minus 5, distributing. I'm going to leave this factored. I'm going to leave the denominator in factored form, x plus 2 times x minus 3. I'm going to subtract 4 times x minus 4 minus 12. And again, that's 5 times x plus 2 times x minus 3. Okay, I'm putting it now into the single fraction. I got the common denominator, and that common denominator is 5. Bring it up here a little bit. Times x plus 2 times x minus 3. And I'm taking 5x minus 5 minus 4x minus 12. I really need to group that. You can group that one too, but it's before the minus. And then when I remove these parentheses, I'm looking at 5x minus 5 minus 4x plus 12. Minus minus is plus. And then our denominator, 5 times x plus 2 times x minus 3. 5x minus 4x is 1x. Negative 5 plus 12 is positive 7. And there's my final answer. X plus 7 is the numerator. 5 times x plus 2 times x minus 3 is the denominator. Okay. Let's do a second example. Alright, I need to figure out what is the factored form of 4x squared plus 21x plus 5. And I need to multiply the 4 and 5 together. So I need two numbers that multiply to 20 and add to 21. And I think 20 plus 1 and 20 times 1 will do that. So 4x squared plus 20x plus 1x plus 5. Okay, if I look at these two, 4 goes into both of those, x goes into both of those, and then I need an x here, and I need a 5 here. X plus 5, that's factoring that with the GCF. This has 1 as the only common factor these two have, so I'll go 1 and x plus 5. That works out nicely because of the x plus 5s. So let's go 4x plus 1 times x plus 5. Let's rewrite this one as x minus 8 over 4x plus, let me write 4x plus 1, you see what I'm doing there, times x plus 5, and then the 3 here, it's a common factor, and 3 times 4x gives me the 12x, and 3 times 1 gives me the 3. So I got 6 there. Alright, what does this one have that this one doesn't have? This one has a 3, so I'm going to multiply by 3 on the top and the bottom, and I do group the whole top because I got to distribute the 3. This one has a 4x plus 1, it has a 3, it needs this x plus 5. So I'm going, this is what we need to do to get that common denominator. Alright, let's rewrite this. This is with the distributive property. That's 3x minus 24 over 3 times 4x plus 1 times x plus 5. I'm not going to multiply that out. I'm going to leave the denominator factored all the time. And 6x plus 5, whoops, that's not equals, that is a plus. 6x plus 30 over that common denominator. 3 times 4x plus 1 times x plus 5. And let's add the numerators. That's 3x minus 24 plus 6x plus 30. That's our whole new numerator. I'm rewriting the denominator. 3 times 4x plus 1 times x plus 5. And combine like terms in my numerator. 3x and 6x make 9x. Negative 24 plus 30 equals 6. And I got 3 times 4x plus 1 times x plus 5. I am going to do one more thing here because 9 and 6 have a common factor of 3. So that's 3 times 3x plus 2. And I did that because it might cancel with something which makes a better answer. Now, it doesn't, but you should factor and check to see just in case. All right. One more problem. Let's try example 3. And I'm going to save example 3 in the assignment for the next video.